Okay, tonight I would like to welcome all of you to this call. I'm Ambassador Brandy Walker, and I've got our newest senior review ambassador, Comrade, is on with us tonight. And we're talking about if can everybody mute themselves real quick. Um, Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me better. I just went ahead and muted everybody. That way everybody can hear. And if you need to say something, by all means, please, just unmute yourself and just ask away, because this is pretty informal. But we want to just, tonight, we want to talk about something that is super important, y'all, is customer care. It's how to get, sometimes it's really easy to get a customer ambassador, but keeping them sometimes can be an issue. So I'm going to share my screen real quick with y'all. Get down here. Okay. Again, this is customer care. Okay, so we're going to the first slide. And we just want to talk about a few things. Like I said, when you get a customer, it can be really, easy. You think, okay, my job is done. Absolutely not, y'all. Your job is not over. It's just starting once you get a customer. And I just want to talk about, following up with those customers. When do you do that? Okay, the first week, I just had someone sign up just a couple of days ago, and I'm going to follow up with her a couple of times this week, 2 to 3 times, because sometimes when they first start out, they may not feel so great. Sometimes they can have candida die-off symptoms, and maybe they're scared to tell you about it, or they're not just going to message you and say, "Ooh, I don't feel good," but that's your job to check in with them and make sure that they're feeling good. I always ask them questions like, what are you loving about the products? And I always send them a list of the candida die-off symptoms. I send that usually on about day 3 to 4. And I just say, okay, these are the list of candida die-off symptoms. Are you having any of these symptoms? And sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no, but I just want to let them know that that's totally normal. They're not going crazy. They're not allergic to the products. It's just something that happens. Sometimes when your body's detoxing, you can just feel kind of yucky, and that's perfectly normal. So you just want to make sure that you just let them know that they're not dying. They're gonna make it, and just encourage them to drink more water, drink half their body weight in ounces of water every day, and just make sure they're doing good. Make sure that they're not just diving in and taking all the products at full dosage, right off the bottle. That's not what we want them to do. You want to make sure as soon as they order, I do it every time, I send them the product instructions. Do that every single time, y'all. As soon as you get that email, send out those instructions. That way you don't forget. And then again, I send directions again when I'm around about the time that I think that their products have been delivered. Usually I tell them to message me when they get their products. That way we can talk about it. And I send those directions again. And you're like, well, I already sent them. Yeah, but most people, y'all, they lose them in their email, or they lose them in their messenger. And, it's just good customer service to make sure that you send it that second time. And write that down on your calendar. The day that they order, write it down on your calendar. Write down, when you think the product should arrive, usually in 3 to 5 days. Check in with them. And then again, you want to write it down again on your calendar whenever you need to check in with them that first couple of times. Okay, so weeks 2 to 4, after they've been on the products about 2 weeks, you're going to start checking in about once a week or so that first month. After you've really checked in that first week, after that, about once a week. And you can just, simply say just a quick note. Hey girl, just want to check on you, see how you're doing on your products. What are you loving? Is there anything that you need to change up or add? At this point, maybe they want to go ahead and add that multivitamin or accelerator. That's a great time to do that. If they haven't already, when they first started. Then after the 4th week, you can check in with them once or twice a month, and you'll kind of know. Some people want to talk to you every day, And, that's totally okay. That means most of the time that they're loving it and they're going to stick with it. So I love people like that. People have a lot of questions and they're really interactive with me. That kind of lets me know, where they stand on the products. But there's some people that, after they've been on it, maybe 1 or 2 months, that they just don't really respond to you very much. That's okay too. But don't stop reaching out to them, because that way, if they're, they know that you're there, they know you're checking on them. But if they ever have an issue, you've let that communication open, so that they feel free to message you. It just says after the first month and before their auto ship goes through, always contact them. And if they're loving their products, that's when you tell them about our awesome upgrade plan, to become an ambassador. Because who doesn't want to get their products cheaper? Just because somebody signs up as an ambassador, it does not mean that they have to sell. Obviously, a lot of our team is made up of wholesale ambassadors. And that's what we want, because I promise you, when people start, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to order as a customer. They're going to stay a customer for, 2-3 months. And then they're probably going to fall off. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of people that are, preferred customers for, years. It just usually doesn't happen like that. I mean, I've got a couple, but for the most part, they're either going to, try the products and stay on for a couple months, or they're going to love them so much they're going to want to upgrade to ambassador to get them cheaper. And then they're going to be, most of the time more consistent and stick with it. So that's a great time after that first month, before their auto ship goes through. You want to make sure that you're checking with them about upgrading. I do that every time. Let's see. Okay, Tina?
Yep, I had to unmute myself.
Can you see the screen?
Huh?
Can you see the screen?
Yes, I got my email to open up on one of the many computers I'm struggling with. So anyway, whatever. So when should I follow up with an ambassador? And once I started making this, just pursuing this as a business, I noticed, and I think I probably bothered Brandy to death about it, but I felt like the wholesale customers kind of fall between the cracks, because they're added to our team pages, which is exactly where they need to be. But at the same time, if they're strictly wholesale, like I have some wholesale customers that actually have another network marketing business that they're pursuing, I'm sure they're not going to do the business, but they're not going to get on my team page. And so anyway, but it's really, really important to follow up with them, because those are the ones, some of them, most of us started out as wholesale, that have the opportunity to share the business. So we just kind of keep a VIP. There are VIP customers, and to follow up with them, even if they seem very independent, they're moving along or whatever. But same as customers, no less than once a week. So I do better. I don't know about Brandy, but I do better if I go through and do all of my customers, all my wholesale customers in one day. And then I'll go through all my preferred and retail customers in one day. And I don't have a huge customer base because a lot of them upgrade. But I do better that way. And I write it on the calendar, preferred this day. And then the next week, I'll kind of do the same thing at first. But after that, I back off. I've got one customer that's been taking the triplex for a year. I mean, she's on it for life, but I still want her to know that I appreciate her. And I've started sending a card now and then. I had heard another, it was actually a diamond upline that said, quarterly or for holidays, things like that, just to show them, and I've ordered from people on different, skincare or whatever, and they do the same thing. And even though I know this business, that still means a lot to me. Or they'll send me a $5 off your next order or something like that. And it just shows them that we appreciate them. But it bothers me that they're not probably ever going to see anything on my page. Some of them, hopefully some of them are looking, but I know for a fact that a few of them don't. They're busy, but I just don't want them to think, we forgot them. So they're really important to hold on to as well. And to just, I like how, what this says, silence from an upline can crush a downline. If they just think that you've forgotten about them, and you're just kind of floating out there. Everybody, I still get things in my feed and offers from other health and wellness products and things. I'm not going to try them because I'm super happy where I am. Mm-hmm. But if there's anything, any doubt, any symptom that they're not liking or whatever, they may jump on that train. So you just don't know. You just want to have a relationship with them and communicate with them on a regular basis.
Yes. I will add something to this real quick, Tina, if you don't mind.
No.
Or, so as your team grows and maybe you have a whole lot of level ones that are ambassadors, sometimes it can be a lot. Some people just don't have time to follow up with them all in one day. I
Right.
don't personally do that. What I do is at the beginning of the month, I print out my my list of ambassadors, all of my level ones, or sometimes I just pull up on the screen, and I take, as we're supposed to follow up with about three people each day. I also add to that list that I'm going to follow up with my wholesale ambassadors each day. So I make a list of either 3 to 5 people each day of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just send them a quick, voice message and just follow up with them real quick. Because again, I mean, ambassadors are super important. That's what your business is based on. So you need to make sure, even though they're just kind of trucking along, one day, if you're not keeping up with them, one day you just look on and they're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
You really, really, really have to keep up with these people and check in with them just like with the customers. Make sure that, don't just make sure that they're doing okay. Check on them and, see if it's time for them to try a different product. You want to products as they go, because if they're just sticking just with the triplex, they might be happy, but we're happy if they, if they're adding, X Factor and Mega X, and oh my goodness, we have some, the normal person.
Right.
So,
can I add one more thing? I'm sorry. Recently, I do have a couple of preferred customers that have been a preferred for about a year, and they order like 1 or 2 products. They're not really interested in other things, but to keep that relationship going and make sure that I'm communicating with them and making sure everything's going well, I've asked them recently if they would be willing to jot down what that product is doing for them, and would they mind me sharing it? I can share it anonymously, but that's really validating, because they know that I'm investing in them and I see what's going on, and that it's helping them, and they're helping somebody else even though they're not doing the business. So
exactly. And of course you always want to talk to them about, do they know 3 friends that could join them, especially this month, and make that double bonus. So we always want to present the business at some point. Okay. All righty. When should I follow up with a prospect? Okay. Usually when I reach out to somebody, let's say they've reached out to me the first time, and I made that first contact with them either through reaching out to me or a cold message, a voice message, phone call, or in person. I always ask them in that message, I ask for their email address. And the reason I do this is because I want to send them more information. I have a little letter. So if you're brand new and you don't have any information to send somebody, message your upline or me or team, and we will send you what we send somebody the very first time we get their email address and we want to share more information with them. We will send you that because that's the first step. And it's a letter that kind of goes through all the products and tells them exactly what they do, and it just kind of piques their interest a little bit. And most of the time, at that point, they're going to say, okay, I'm ready to order, and they're ready to order. But if you don't hear anything back from them right away, and a lot of people don't, a lot of people are busy, they send it and they see it's a letter, and like, okay, I'll get to it, but you don't hear back from them right away. I usually give it about 3 to 5 days, and then I message them back or call or whatever. If you can call somebody, that's the best way to, and then, I just sent up maybe a sample message that says, hey girl, I just wanted to follow up with you to see if you had a chance to look over the info I sent you. If so, what questions do you have for me? I can't wait for you to try it. Very simple, and usually at that point, they're going to say, actually, I did have a chance and I'm ready to order, or no, I've been busy or whatever. Okay, so after that first follow-up, I'm not going to keep messaging them like every other day to see if they've read it. Obviously, I'm going to give them a little time and have patience. Sometimes it's really hard to do in the beginning when you feel like they're going to order and they haven't done it yet, and you're like, oh my goodness, or, maybe they even tell you they're going to order and they haven't. If they tell you that they're going to order and they haven't in a couple of days, I do message them back and just say, hey girl, I was just checking to see if you had any issues signing up. I haven't got an email yet. I just want to make sure that you didn't have a problem. Okay, that's not, I don't feel like that's being pushy, because they legitimately could have had a problem signing up. But if they didn't tell you necessarily they're going to purchase yet, then after that first 3 to 5 days, I usually wait about a month or 3 to 4 weeks. And then I message them back again, and, and just kind of the same thing. Okay, at that point, if you don't hear anything back, I wait another month. And at that point, I may send them like a testimony that has, maybe they've talked to me about their severe constipation or they've got thyroid issues. I go and find a testimony about what they've had issues with. I just simply send it to them and just say, hey, girl, I saw this testimony and it made me think of you. And just send it to them. That way I'm not pestering them to death, but I am, continuing to follow up. Then if we have a special the next month, I'm going to message them again. And I just keep following up with them every month until they either tell me no or they purchase or join my team. And, sometimes it takes 8 to 12 times to contact somebody or for them being exposed to your product before they are ready to purchase. And sometimes that's 8 to 12 messages. I've got people on my list that I still follow up with because I feel like it's just happening the right time for them. I feel like it's all about, it's just all about timing. Maybe they have been, super, super busy, and maybe they're not, maybe they're interested in it, but maybe one day they just hit and they get really sick and they need you, or maybe their spouse lost their job and now they really need the income. So you just never know. Just try not to take it personally when you follow up with people. And if you don't hear anything back, that's okay, y'all. Sometimes they don't even see the messages. Sometimes they've got their phone and they hand it to their child and the message pops up while their kid has their phone and they never see it. Or it pops up their computer while they're in the kitchen and you think they've read it, but they haven't. And then their husband goes and closes the computer and that's the end of that. So make sure you continue to follow up with people because not everybody's on Facebook like we are. This is our job, but just make sure that that you continue to follow up in this business. Posting, reaching out, and following up. Those are 3 most important things, for your income producing activities. That is what's going to make you money. Okay.
You want me to take the next one?
I think so. Is this the one you're supposed to take?
I don't know. Do you have my name on it? Is it, how am I going to keep up with it all?
What should I send a prospect?
Okay. Because that all kind of, I was so into listening to you.
If this is not your one,
huh?
I said, if this is not the one I sent you, I can take it.
No, it's either way. I can just read through it. And
okay.
So what should I send a prospect when I'm following up? First contact, send them info on the products or the business, but keep it short and to the point. I've seen some really long messages, and I've done that a couple times, and I've gotten messages like that, and I don't read them. That's attention issues. I don't know, but it's just too much. People are busy, and they just want to the point. Most people don't want to be overloaded with tons of product or business info. People are busy, and we should just respect their time. Just be short and sweet. The second contact, ask if they have had a chance to read over the info you sent and ask questions they have, or if they have questions for you, and be patient. I've talked to a couple people this week that are really discouraged. She didn't write me back. She asked me questions, but then she didn't respond. And I had one girl that she's one of my best customers now. She's thrilled, and she's going to be on this for life because it's helping her little girls. But it took her a year. I mean, she would ask me a question, and she'd see a post, and she'd ask me another question. And then when I would write to her, I wouldn't hear from her for a couple months. But it's just people are busy. And with Facebook, like Brandy said, not everybody's on here all the time. It may be just here and there and, once a week. So just be very, very patient and don't be discouraged. Just put your head down and keep reaching out. Don't wait on those people because they will pop back up. Third contact or more. Send testimonies, send product info. Excuse me, if we get a new product, or just periodically check in on them. Doesn't always have to be about Plexus. I found that just reconnecting with people is huge. And testimonies are huge. If somebody asks me about a specific product, but then they don't, I send them the information on that and they don't, they're not ready to buy, or they're not ready to give it a try or whatever, and it's not something I can give them a sample for, I'll send testimonies and just say, hey girl, I just sent you a couple, just read them when you get a chance. And we've got people on our team with incredible testimonies with their children, with the triplex, but they're all kinds. Nerve, I know a couple people on here use Ease and Nerve. So to just say, this is a friend of mine, this is a teammate of mine, I know her personally, and I can introduce you to her. You know, I contacted Tammy. Tammy uses the Nerve, and it has been life-changing for her. So I asked her if I could introduce her to a friend of mine through messaging who's just trying it for the exact same issues. She said, absolutely. So anyway, so testimonies are huge, I think. You can also send Diamond documentaries by finding one that they can relate to. We had a list for a while. I'm not sure if they redid it or what, but we can find it where the Diamond docs are listed by profession. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my hairdresser, every single time I'm in there, we talk about plexus. I've given her a bottle of Edge and stuff, and she's divorced, and this is her only income. She's got 2 kids, so she toys with it. But how cool that I can send her a Diamond documentary of a hairdresser that, you know, is now, I mean, independent, you know, financially independent. So it just makes people, it just makes it real. You know, I was one of those people that said that could never happen to me, but those are just real people. So they're real products that work. So we need to share them.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. This one, I think is super important. If y'all were on, you know, some of you may have been on the Going Gold call the other night, and we were talking about how to keep things simple. I think I'm a simple girl. I'd like to keep things as simple as possible. If not, I can get overwhelmed. I've got a big team and a lot of customers, a lot of ambassadors, and I've got to have a way to keep up with them. And in the beginning, you know, you may be able to just flip through your messenger and be able to keep up with who you've messaged and who has messaged you. But I promise you, if you continue to do this, that's going to change really quick. It's going to get bigger, and it's going to be a little bit harder to even remember who has messaged you and who hasn't, especially if you've got a lot of stuff going on, and most of us do. Like, I don't pretty much know anybody that's on here that has nothing going on. Mm-hmm. You know, okay, so the first thing is, and some of you have seen this and some of you haven't, but it's the index card system. Okay, this is really simple, and it's a great way to keep up with everybody when you first get started. It's just a little index card box, and I've got each person in there by, I think, by their last name or first name. I don't remember. However you want to do it, it doesn't matter. But, you know, obviously they're in alphabetical order, and I go through, in the beginning, I don't necessarily use this as much anymore because I have more people, but it's a great way if you don't, you know, if you're not into the calendar system or anything. Say there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and there's 26, or there's, you know, roughly 30 days in a month. I would just start at the beginning. You know, all the letter A's I follow up with on the first day of the month, all the B's on the second day, all the C's on the third day, and so on. And so by the time you get, you know, to the 26th letter, to Z, you're on, you know, practically the last day of the month, and you followed up with everybody. This is all, you can do it with all your prospects. You can have one for prospects, one for customers, and one for ambassadors. And just, you know, that way you can just do a letter a day and keep up with everybody like that. Every time, you know, anybody ever reached out to me or I reached out to them, I put them in this box. And that way I know every month that I have followed up with everybody. And y'all, this is like a little office in a box. My daughter had competitive cheer the first year I did Plexus. And every time she had practice, I grabbed this and a notebook and my phone, and I would sit in my car and work for 3 hours. You know, she had practice for 3 hours several nights a week. It was about 45 minutes away from home. So I could take it wherever I went. If we went on road trips or anywhere we were going, I always had my little box with me, and it was super, super helpful. And I highly recommend using that in the beginning. I think it's really a great system. You know, everybody's got something different. Some people like spreadsheets. If you're a spreadsheet person, I think those are great. I just think you need a way to keep up with those even when you're not at your spreadsheet, because sometimes, you know, you're going to get messages and things on your phone when you're not at home, and either you need to do either one of two things. You need to either not answer them until you can, you know, get back with them, or you got to find a way to keep up with that. So I'm going to skip down while we're talking about this. There's the index card system, and I'm going to go all the way down to where it says take screenshots of messages and put a follow-up album on your phone. Okay, if somebody messages you and, right then you aren't sure or you don't want to respond right then because you don't have time or whatever, take a screenshot of that message and go ahead and make an album in your phone that just says follow up and put it in that album. And that way you've got a screenshot of the conversation. And then whenever it comes time for you to do your follow-ups, you just go to your album and pull it up and you're like, okay, there's those pictures of, of everybody I need to follow up with. Another way to do that, if you have an iPhone, and I'm not sure about Android or any other type of phone. I just know on my phone, if you pull up, let me pull up a message real fast. In Messenger, there's actually a message here from Carrie Thomas. Okay, so if you just, I don't know if y'all can see that. Probably can't. If you just hold your finger down, actually, if you hold your finger down on it, it's going to have more right at the bottom. Can y'all see that? Just click on more. And then you can mark the messages as unread. I'm trying to get it to where you can see that. You can mark it as unread. And that way, that has been a lifesaver for me. I did not know that, and I don't know if it's just something new, but I didn't know that till probably, I don't know, 3 months ago. But it has been huge because I like to answer people as soon as I get the message, but sometimes it's just not possible. So if I'm out and about, I will read the message, I'll mark it as unread, and so when I get home, the message is still black, so I don't forget to get back with that person. That has been life-changing for me to be able to keep up with, following back up with people. I still write them down. I still keep up with them other places too, but that way I just, because sometimes people message you and you just like, or I do, maybe you don't, but I completely just forget. So if you guys ever message me and you see that I've read it and I didn't answer you, message me again, because it's not on purpose, I promise. Sometimes I just get so many messages throughout the day and maybe I just get interrupted and just completely forget to go back. Okay, the next way to keep up with people, and you don't have to use all these systems. You can just find one that works, but I'm just want to tell you the options. You can have a calendar system where, actually, I bought this big calendar day. I have not filled anything in on this one, but it's just a regular calendar. And you can just take each day and write down 5 names a day. And those are the people that you're going to reach out to. And you can also write down, 3 names a day of the people that you're going to follow up with. Y'all, that has been huge for me. If I sit down on a Sunday night and I go ahead and write all those names out of who I'm going to reach out to, first of all, my brand new people that have never heard about Plexus, my 5 new people, and then my 3 people a day that I'm going to follow up with, prospects that I have reached out to before. I also write down, I've got another, that's not necessarily the calendar that I use. This is the one that I use. So you can see I've got names written down. I'm just starting in September. I'm already going through September of writing people's names down that I'm going to follow up with. So I also follow up with, with my prospects. I follow up with my customers, and I follow up with my ambassadors, whether it's my wholesale ambassadors or my ambassadors that are working, the business. We just talked about that a few minutes ago, but I schedule those out, y'all, because you don't want to skip following up with your ambassadors. Oh my goodness, that is so, so, so important. Mm-hmm. And then again, the marking the messages as unread until you can respond. You can I have an app in my phone, and I think most iPhones do. They come with just a reminder app. I have done this almost since the beginning. Every person that's ever reached out to me or I've reached out to them, I put their name in that reminder app. It's not fancy. It's not really in any kind of order. But it helps me, when I'm making my list of 100 people, or just when I'm following up with people and maybe I forget, their name is in there. So I'm not losing their name. That's, like I said, that's not a fancy way to do it, but it works for me. You guys may be super, super organized and even have a better system that works, and that's awesome. And I want you to share it with us when you find a better system. I'm not the most organized person, but I've found, these little tricks that work for me. And so I just like to pass them along. Also, y'all, the daily action stack sheet. This is kind of one that's not completely filled out, but These are huge. If you have not used these, you can find them on my team page in the file section. It's just called Daily Action Stack. I think there's just a regular Daily Action Stack and then a Daily Action Stack 2. They're basically the same thing. Either one of them is fine. I just print out those. You can print out enough for 5 days or enough for a month, and just put them in a binder and just fill one out every day. Y'all, if you fill that out, you're done. You have done your Plexus work for the day. Except, of course, maybe, answering some questions from ambassadors or whatever. But that is a great way to keep up with everybody, because you've got everybody you reached out to, and you can kind of, go back a couple of days and, look and see who you need to follow up with and that kind of thing. So if you have not printed those out, I encourage you to at least print out one, y'all, and see what you're supposed to be doing every day. I did not have that when I first started, and I was always, making lists and floundering and trying to figure out, oh my gosh, I felt like after I've been doing this for a little while, I was like, my list of things that I should be doing every day is kind of growing. And so when I finally got this Daily Action Stack sheet, it just made me feel focused, and I just felt like I was accomplished, and I got everything that I was supposed to get done in one, just in maybe 30 minutes. I could just sit down and knock it all out. Let's see.
And you can also order that, the notebook, the IPA journal or whatever. It has, I don't have mine up here, but it's been nice for me because I can just grab it and go. If I'm going to be away from the house all day and I didn't have time to do it in the morning.
Yes.
It's a whole year, I think.
Is, I don't know if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Daily IPA journal. And I think you can go to, is it just Daily IPA Journal?
I think it is.
It's dailyipajournal.com is the name of the website. And y'all, they're not expensive. I don't remember exactly how much, but it's
I think it was around $20, $25, and that's a whole year, so it's worth it.
And it's got the date on each one, so like Tina said, it's a whole year right there. And that's like a little office in a binder that you can take with you. You can throw it in your purse, you can throw it in your bag, and so you've always got it. You can take notes in there. I love mine. I use it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just ignore, we've used this slideshow before, so ignore the IPA challenge group. We just got done with that. Okay, I'm going to open it up for questions and answers. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Okay. If you've got any questions, feel free to just unmute yourself. See, somebody's got a question. Oh, do you have a list of Candida die-off symptoms? I actually do. I'm going to write this down because I'm going to post it on my team page. That way you'll all have it. And I'll tag you, Heather. Okay. It's a little graphic that I have, and I keep it in the notes on my phone, and I just, send that out to them. And y'all, if you haven't made an album in your phone or made several albums in your phone for graphics, I would highly recommend doing that. I would not just make just one album that just says Plexus. I did that in the beginning, and it was great for like the first week. And after that, I was like scrolling. I would be scrolling 30-40 minutes trying to look for the graphic that I needed. Separate it by categories, testimonies or products or product ingredients, whatever it is. Just make it so you can separate your graphics, and that was just a huge time saver. And I feel like that seems so basic and so just something that everybody should know, but I didn't. So I like to pass that along because organization is not my strong point. So I've just had to learn little tricks along the way that really helped. Where can we find the Daily Action Stack? Looked on your page. Let me pull up my page. I'm going to share my screen again. It should be on there. If it's not,
I think it's up in files, isn't it?
Yep, it should be. How do I get out of this? Oh, there. Okay.
I was going to say I can pull it up real quick.
Same. Okay, if you go over here to the file section, move you guys over a little bit. There it is, right there in the daily action stacks. I don't remember who asked that, but I'll just pull it up real quick. And see, it just goes over, a lot of you have probably seen this, but if you haven't, it's awesome, y'all. This is exactly what you need to be doing every day. Besides, obviously answering messages, prospects, and, your ambassadors. But I would just print out some of these for every day.
I just hole punched them and put them in a 3-ring binder.
Oh, she was trying, okay. I put numbers before each Plexus product file in my keynote so it stays at the top of my files and a number order. Oh, great idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea, Margie. Margie, not Margie.
Yeah.
I also figured out that after in your notes on your phone, you can do a search, but that's a better way to do it. Okay, are there any free apps for making graphics? Absolutely. There are quite a few. Let me tell you the names of some real quick. Okay, I use Pic Collage. It's PIC, COLLAGE. I use WordSwag and Typorama, TYPORAMA. Oops. Do you have any that you like?
I use Pic Collage and Typorama, and then I have one. Let me look at them really quick. I think I can stay on the call. And I have them all in a little folder on the front of my photo tools.
There's another one called Ronna, RHONNA.
Okay. I like Font Mania. It's just a lot of different font things. And this one is Photo. It's PH with the parentheses with the plus and TO. That's the first one I ever used, and it was really, really simple. It actually does not do words, but anything you've made, it puts them together in, how some of the collage ones, it's got really odd shapes. And this one is just your basic shapes, but it'll bring pictures together, and you can change the color of the border and stuff. So it's just a very simple one, but I like that one too. It's quick.
Okay. Let me look at
Pic Collage is the one I use the most.
Looking at the other messages. Let's see.
Oh, Kristen wanted to know what the font is. Font Mania, MANIA.
Denise says, do you write down the conversation that you have with prospects? Yes. Okay. In the beginning, I did this a lot, y'all. I wrote down, just kind of the date that I reached out to them on my cards, and I would write down, briefly what I spoke to them about. I don't delete messages ever. Maybe some of y'all do. I don't know. That stresses me out to delete them because I always go back. Just say, it's been, a month, obviously, since I talked to, this person before. I usually pull up their message first, and I go back and look and see what we talked about so I can just kind of jog my memory. And a lot of times I'll also go to their Facebook page and just kind of look around for a minute and kind of see if there's any like big event that I've missed, maybe a death or maybe a vacation or had a baby, or so that I'm not clueless. I want to know what's been going on with them. I usually do that every time I'm following up with somebody, just so I'm aware. What? Oh, the font one. Okay.
Can I add one more thing, Brandy? I'm sorry. This is fresh on my mind because it's happened like 3 times this week. But if you have a customer that is frustrated, or usually it's going to be a new customer that doesn't feel well or something like that, use your upline, because the three-way message with somebody else is so validating. And we've saved a couple people from returning their products because it was something really simple, but because they're only talking to that one person, it might be a best friend, it might be a sister, just hearing it from somebody else that maybe has been doing, like Brandy's my direct upline. So I don't know how many three-way conversations we've had, and it just, she's got experience with the products that I don't. So she can help tweak and stuff, but just use your upline because it is really helpful. And those people are almost always receptive.
Yeah. And it just really, like she said, it just validates. And some people, y'all, it's just weird. People are funny. Sometimes they will just, even if it's your best friend or your mom or sometimes they're going to believe the person, your upline, and
Yep.
they would believe you. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. I mean, I got constant message on my upline. I'm okay with that. As long as they get their questions answered, I'm totally okay with that. And I hope y'all are too. Those messages work.
Yes, they
That's why
do.
we ask you, in the very beginning when you get a brand new ambassador, and we ask you to do those 3 messages. Y'all, my teams that are doing that are exploding. I mean, their teams fall off because those people feel connected right away with somebody besides just you or besides just me. It just connects them, and they feel like they have a place to go answer questions answered. So it works.
Yeah. And 2 or 3 months down the road, if they have a problem, they already have an open thread.
Yep. They use them.
Yeah.
So, anybody else? Nope. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you guys getting on, and I'm excited. Y'all, we're early in the month. There's still plenty of time to go silver and gold. Y'all, those bonuses are huge. So make sure that you're following up with people, and don't leave any stone unturned. That's too much money to not get this month. So if y'all need any help, just message me in your upline, and we will do what we can to help you. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Oh wait,
I was going to say, can you get a picture? I can't get one on my phone, but
we're hopping off already. But okay, y'all say cheese. All right. I hope you guys have a great night.
thank you, Brandy.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, ladies.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You want to start recording?